Hi everyone, I'm Serene. I'm 19 years old and I live in Kennewick, Washington. I've basically grown up here except for about, I think, 11 years that I lived in Benton City, but Benton City's only 20 minutes from here. So it's basically the same area. And when I lived there, going into Kennewick, where I live now, is called going into town because it's the only place that has like Walmart and Target and things like that. So everything else is pretty small in Benton City. Um, I have a 10-month-old son named Declan. He is my pride and joy, and I love him very much. He's my little blessing baby. He's got me through some really hard times and made me kind of turn my life around. Um, Things are a little difficult between work and school and having a baby to look after and take care of and raise correctly. But I know it's worth it because in the end, it just makes both of us stronger people and um, helps us to stay on the right path. I went to school at Kamiakin High School, and I just graduated there from 2 years ago. During high school, I took about 8 advanced placement classes, but the one that I enjoyed the most was my AP psychology class. I had an amazing teacher, and on top of that, I really love psychology and learning about the way the mind works and how people develop and seeing where thought processes come from and the studies that they do and how amazingly we can be, I guess, trained as humans to do certain things. It's just very interesting to see how it works. I'm majoring in computer information technology and hoping a psychology minor for online students because that would be something that I'd be really interested in doing. But for computer information technology, I'm looking to become a computer programmer or a software developer. Basically anything that allows me to be a freelance or a work that I don't have to have a regular schedule because I really don't like it. I've only experienced it for about a year now, but because the jobs I had before always had different schedules. But this last job I've had for a year, and it has a very steady, strict schedule that I have to follow, and it's not exactly my favorite thing. I work for the city of Kennewick, and I'm their office clerk in the building and planning department, which means I do a lot of odd jobs and I help a lot of people try to get things figured out so that they can build things correctly and make sure that it gets inspected and that they're safe to be, that the buildings are safe to be in. It's been a good opportunity to be able to develop social skills and be able to have small talk and make people not feel so awkward when they're trying to ask questions, which I've been a tutor before and I was never really good at um, ma- making my responses not sound critical. So that's something that I've learned through work is to help people not feel so out of the loop or ridiculous when they're asking questions that seem very simple, but there's, to make sure that you're doing the right thing, you want to ask as many questions as you can because that's the only way you're ever going to learn anything. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer, and that was my biggest dream was that I would be a singer someday. I wanted to go on American Idol, but now it's changed. I want to go on The Voice because Blake Shelton is on there, and I absolutely adore him. He's probably my favorite singer ever, and he just has such great words of wisdom and song lyrics, and I just love it. Um, Now I would, like I said before, I wanted to be a computer programmer or a software developer, but in all reality, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. And that's why I would want those jobs to be freelance, is because I want to make my own schedule and have time with my kids and only do work when they're either at school or sleeping or sometime when I don't have to take time away from them because I know how important it is for their development to be around them as much as possible and let them know that you really care and that you're able to be there for them when they need you. I was born into the church and I'm so grateful for that. I have such a strong testimony now. When I was growing up and especially through high school, I got lost for a little while, but through all the hardships and everything that I've gone through, it's made me a lot closer to Christ, and it has taught me to be able to rely on Him, especially with Declan, and knowing that I needed to come back to the church when I got pregnant with him because it was so important that he was raised well enough to know that he didn't need to follow the path that I have led to know that they're not the right thing to do. I wanted to be able to set a better example for him than I had set for myself. And So it was first, but now it's taught me to rely on the Lord a lot, and I'm it's such a blessing to know that He's there for us and that He'll never lead us. We will always be able to have Him by our side when we need Him, because there's been some real difficulties trying to get out of old habits and get away from the people that I had been associated with that were um, essentially causing the the path that I had gone down through my last couple years of high school. But it's made a really big impact on my life to have the gospel with me and being able to go to church and not feel ashamed of the things that I've done because I know that the Lord forgives all of His children.